Hi guys, this is Meenu. Welcome back to my channel StoryTale. Today I'm going to be reviewing the second book in the Folk of the Air series, which is The Wicked King by Holy Black. I've already reviewed the first book in installment, The Cruel Prince. That was a spoiler-filled review, and this is also going to be filled with spoilers because again, these are popular books. Many people have already read it, so it does not make any sense to make it spoiler-free. So the first book that I read, I had many thoughts about it. I mean, I liked it, but it wasn't one of my favorites because it didn't have a wow factor for me, to be honest. I mean, I liked the characters and a little bit of the story, but I was really disappointed with Carden. I mean, he was supposed to be the main thing, but he was not. He was supposed to be the cruel prince, but by the end of the book, he just felt, not smart or childish or just a spoiled brat. So I didn't like him that much. But this book, it just totally changed my perspective about him. I mean, I loved Carden in this book. He was so good in this book. I loved his character arc. He was so smart and really wicked in this book. I mean, from the beginning of the book, you can see that he's not happy with his position. Jude placed him there. He didn't want to be the High King, but now he is. That is why he's, always trying to annoy her. He's always trying to screw her over. And that is something like I really loved because he was just very witty, and I really loved all those scenes that he was trying to annoy her. Especially when he hires Locke as the Master of Revel just because he wanted to get back at Jude. I really loved that scene. He was unintentionally funny in this book, and I actually liked that. There was this scene with Carden which was like really good. His ex, Nicasia, was trying to actually attack the girl that he was sleeping with or flirting with. I do not remember. But she was trying to attack that girl. But instead, she ended up attacking Prince Carden. And then Jude saved him. And then she asked him to sleep with her in her room. So I thought maybe they're going to sleep in the same room. Then something going to happen. And something did happen. But we're going to talk about that later. But the first night that he sleeps in her room, the first thing he says to her is, "Kiss me again. Kiss me until I'm sick of it." I mean, I love that line. That line is so good. And that line has been repeated so much in the book. And I really loved that line. And there's also another line where he says that I suppose when you're the sickness, you cannot also be the cure. I mean, I really love that line. That line is just so smart and just tells you how complicated his feelings is for Jude. I mean, he hates her. He also loves her. He just cannot decide what he feels for her. And I just really love that scene. I really love that dynamic. To be honest, I was not expecting much from this book, especially after the first book, because it was kind of a disappointing in some ways. So I was not expecting much from this book. And the first 1/3 of the book was not interesting at all. It was just Jude talking in her mind and talking with the spies and everything. So I was not that much into it. But when she realizes that someone very close to is gonna betray her, that is when the story changed. I mean, she was already betrayed by her twin sister Taryn, whom I absolutely hate. I do not like her. I do not like anything about her. She is like not a sister. She's just, I do not know what she is. But she was already betrayed, and again someone is gonna betray her. That is when she start to doubt everything, and then every politics starts, and that is when the story actually picks up. I really love her scenes with Locke when she's trying to threaten him to take care of her sister. I think those scenes are very nice and very badass. I also love her relationship with Maddox. Maddox is of course mad at her because of what she did, but again he cannot just help have that fatherly love for her. So that is something I loved about Maddox. You are just very fascinated by him, his character. You do not know what he's gonna do or what he thinks, but still there's something charismatic about him, something that makes you wanna root for him, even though he's very bad and all the decisions that he makes are very bad. But he's making that for the sake of his family and country. So you are always conflicted about what he feels towards him. We also get to see Heather in this book, who is Vivian's girlfriend, and we get to see this world from her perspective. Jude and Taryn had been for so long in this place, and they are afraid of this place. They have not been treated well, and when Heather comes, she is bullied a little bit. So that is something that does not go right with her, and that is what scared her and made her break up with Vivian. For me, the story went up on another level when Jude got kidnapped by undersea people. Undersea is the place where Jude is not prepared to be. She does not know anything about it. She cannot get out of it. Even though she cannot be glamoured by anyone, but still she has to act like she is glamoured, and that is why she has to go without food and water for so long. And there's also Belikin, who is trying to glamour her to do very weird things. I mean, he asked her to kiss him. I mean, how sick is that? But Jude cannot do anything because she has to keep the facade. She cannot let anybody know that she cannot be glamoured or influenced. It is very heartbreaking to see her in that condition because throughout this book she has been very strong. She had this power. She had power over folk people. She had power over Carden. So she felt powerful. And now in this place she is very weak. She cannot do anything. She's very helpless. And for the first time in this book, Carden had more power than Jude. I love the transformation that Carden had in this book. He went from this spoiled brat who did not know anything to this person who is now strong, who is very clever and wicked. He has earned that title, to be honest. I loved how he made the deal with Undersea in order to get Jude back. I also loved how very cleverly he ended up not marrying Nicasia. I mean, that would have been deal that he had to make in order to save Jude. But he was very clever and he outsmarted everyone and ended up getting his own way. Carden was full of surprises in this book. Chapter 16, where we get that scene between Jude and Carden. Oh my gosh, that scene is so good. I mean, starts with Jude trying to convince him to marry Nicasia. I mean, that would have been good for the political reason. And Carden tells Jude to say that she hates him, and she says that repeatedly. And after that, that kiss happens and their sex happens. I really love that scene. That is like the perfect enemy to lover kind of a scene. I loved the sexual tension. I loved how they kept on saying they hate each other and how this is absolutely wrong, but still they end up having sex. I love that scene. And after that scene, still their relationship has not changed. They are still enemies who love each other and care for each other so much. There was again this scene where Jude was made Queen of Mirth, where she has to dance until someone asks her to stop, and that was kind of humiliating for Jude. But then she ended up asking Carden to join her in that dance, and after that scene, that dance, everything was just so beautiful. That whole scene is again very beautiful. I also love the scene towards the end at Terence and Locke's wedding, when Jude thinks that Carden is actually drunk, and then he kisses her, and that's when she realizes that he has been poisoned. And after that, she goes after Belikin for poisoning Carden, and how she gets the antidote. That whole scene is very smart and again very badass. Now let's talk about the end, which I absolutely love. So Prince Carden didn't want Jude to kill Belikin because he is like his brother. So whatever happened, he didn't want Jude to kill him. But then again, Jude ended up killing him anyway. So that would have been a very big shock for Carden, and that is why he ended up, I think, screwing Jude because of that thing. So the night before his big showdown with the Queen of Sea, I do not remember her name, Carden ends up asking for Jude's hand in marriage. He tells her that she has only 6 months left of the command that she has over Carden. So he wants his freedom back. He does not want her to control him anymore. So in return, he's gonna marry her and make her queen of the folk so that she can still have that power. But again, Carden will be free. Jude was really happy with this decision because her brother is gonna be safe now, and she's also become the queen because now she'll have the power that she always wanted. And I really love that they kiss in the end, then they sleep together. That scene was very romantic, and that is the scene that makes you a fool, because the next day everything is gonna change now. So in the last scene, Carden has this confrontation with this Queen of Sea. Throughout the book, it was clear that Queen of Sea is more powerful because Carden was still young. He does not know anything better. He is not a better king. So even I thought that Queen of Sea has more power over him. But in the end, the way he takes everything in his hand, the way he uses his power, like actually uses his power, I have never actually seen him use his power. I mean, except for the glamour. Other than that, I've never actually seen his power. I didn't know much about it. But in the end, the way he raises land in order to get back at Queen of Sea, I love that scene. That scene was so powerful. It really changed my perspective for him. I loved that badass scene. It was so good. And after that, he takes control of the situation and he makes a deal where he has the upper hand with the Queen of Sea. I really love that scene. And he also showed mercy to Nicasia and Queen of Sea. That was also a very thoughtful part from his side. And then the twist happened. Carden, the High King of Helfame, ended up exiling Jude to the mortal world. That was such a shock for Jude and us. I mean, that was so unexpected. I mean, few pages back, he made Jude the Queen of Elfame. He married her and then he kissed her and everything was so lovely and everything. And then he ended up betraying her. I mean, Jude was so shocked, and then she said that you cannot actually exile me because I am the queen of the folk. And then everyone started laughing. I felt so bad for her. I mean, because the marriage was in secret, so of course nobody knows about it except for Carden and her. And Carden is not accepting that she is like the queen of the folk. and she is saying it, but of course nobody's gonna believe her. So that whole scene was again very smart and very good, and I just felt bad for Jude. That cliffhanger was like the highlight of this book, and that is what makes this book better than The Cruel Prince. I mean, there were also many other scenes which made it better, but that scene was just amazing. And of course, because of that cliffhanger, I am actually dying to read Queen of Nothing, because now Jude is Queen of Nothing, because she has literally nothing. So I really love that title, and of course I'm gonna read it. And there are just so many things that I want to know about. I want to know about more of Cardin's powers, and there are also some jewelries and things involved in this book, which I want to know what powers they hold. So there's so many things that I want to read in the third book. I'm actually excited about that. I was not excited about this book when I first read Cruel Prince. I mean, not as much as I would have. But after this book, Wicked King, I am more excited about the third installment. So if you have not figured out until now, of course, I love this book more than I loved the first book. So I'm gonna give this book 4.5 stars. I'm really excited for the next installment, and let's see how that goes. And do let me know your thoughts on this book in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, do hit subscribe and click that bell icon if you want to get notified of my future videos. Until then, thank you for watching. See you.